Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Gonna get started. Play a tons of Natural 8 earlier today, and we're up 3 buy-ins, so that's pretty nice. Oops, not exactly sure what is going on with our table timer. Guess I will just have to do it manually right now. Apparently it's not working properly. Guess we just have to do it manually. Jack's facing a 4-bet. It's either a photo jam against cut up open. I guess we're gonna jam here. Good luck. Ace king, can we hold? We cannot. Got rivered. That's very unfortunate. Off to a shitty start. Back to losing flips. Against this guy who 3-bet 17% of the time. 4-betting is okay. Flatting is okay as well. I guess suited we can just flat. Plays a little better. Don't flop anything. Off to a shitty start. Lost a buying right away. Against a pot bet, we're just gonna check fold. We don't have any equity. Here facing small blind 3-bet. I guess we're gonna put in a 4-bet here with jacks, and obviously we are calling a jam. Good luck. Okay, at least it worked better. No queen. Okay, at least we got one back right away. So that's a little bit more fair. 60% favor. Win 1, lose 1. Pretty standard. The first one hurt a little bit because the king was on the river, so, but it happens, you know. We got it in on the flop, so I mean we got it in pre-flop, so it doesn't really matter. It's just that when it gets there on the river, it always hurts a little more. I mean it shouldn't, but psychologically it does feel shittier when you get sucked out on the river. I think we're gonna bet this flop when we check 2. Here with the ace of diamond, we're just gonna go for a check. Probably check calling here. Under the gun raise facing this board, I think we're checking a lot, even with our aces and kings. Definitely check calling with mid pair top kicker. There's a flush draw, straight draw out there. That's not the greatest card. He has a lot of 2 pairs on this board. Just gonna check. Ace high might be the best hand here. We'll just see what he does. When he bet the turn, I think it's better to just fold here because we can rep like a strong hand and then his range is uncapped. So if we check call here, I'm pretty sure he's gonna fire another barrel on the river and it will be very difficult for us to call. Here I'm actually consider calling with ace high. He does have a lot of busted flush draw. He can wrap a lot of jack 10 type of hands. We're gonna go for a call here. Having the ace of diamond kind of suck. Facing a check raise without diamond in our hand, we're just gonna fold against an unknown player. Yeah, we're gonna go for a call. He does have a straight. But our read was pretty spot on. He does have nothing, and then we did have a better hand. I think he'll do the same if he didn't. If he didn't hit the river, I think he would bet the same, and then this would have been a good call. Unfortunately, that he did hit a straight on the river, but our read was pretty spot on. He does have a worse hand, and then we dominated that. It's just unfortunate that he got there. If he didn't, he's probably gonna play the same, and then we'll just basically pick up his bluff. It's okay to you're gonna be like capable of calling with ace high, because sometimes people just over bluffs. Here pocket tens, just gonna 3-bet. It's against under the gun raise from a pretty solid player, so kind of have to be careful a little bit. When we flop top set, then obviously we have nothing to worry about. I don't think he opens 7-9 suited that often under the gun and then call a 3-bet out of position. So starting with a small c-bet. Hopefully he has like jacks or something. He doesn't, he just instant muck. Pocket queens, obviously putting a 3-bet. If we face the 4-bet, obviously we are getting it in. Then we're folding queens in small blind versus cutoff. Not the greatest flop. We do have the diamond. I guess we'll start with the small c-bet and then see how it goes. The reason why we c-bet here is because we have a lot of ace king and ace queen in our range, and then we always gonna bet those hands. He raises. I'm thinking he has an ace here. Here we're gonna go for a 4-bet with ace king and then get it in. We're not folding yet with the queen of queen high flush draw. He could have like ace king with king of diamond, but it's very unlikely because I think he 4-bets ace king pre-flop. We're gonna check this turn and then hopefully he check back. And we do win a flip, hopefully, and we do hold. That's nice. On this river, when he check the turn, I am thinking he might have like some king high diamond, like king of diamond, so not flush draw. He could have some ace queen, but we block that super hard. He could have ace jack, but I think ace jack is a bet on the turn, so he could have like some weaker aces like ace 10, ace 9. But he's never folding on this river, so we're just gonna check and hopefully he check back. He does have ace 4. It's a little bit weaker, but it's definitely in his range. Suited ace 4. Here pocket kings facing this flop. Standard c-bet with flopping top pair. This guy only have 48. I think we're just gonna overbet the turn and then get it in. Actually, we're gonna bet like a little bit because of his stack. If it's against a deeper stack, we go for overbet on the turn. But he's a smaller stack, so we're just gonna bet 15 and get it in. Here we are c-betting a little bigger because the board is more dry, and here we're just gonna jam. He does call the flop. We're going for the overbet on the turn. A lot of draws, straight draw, gacha like king queen, queen 10 type of hands. And go for the jam here. He instant call, that's a little bit suspicious. Not exactly sure what he's instant calling with. Maybe like ace jack, king jack. We block king jack pretty hard. Gonna put him on like ace jack and then target it as our value bet. So they're gonna go like a little higher. Let's just go like 100. And hopefully he's gonna call with ace jack. He instant muck. So I guess he could have like queen 10 there. But that's a little bit crazy to call with queen 10 out of position facing an overbet on the turn. But I think that guy has a fish tag, so I'm not too surprised on what he, the way he played the hand. It's definitely not optimal to play like that. But you never know how people play, so I'm not gonna complain. Ace 10 offsuit here. 3-betting is okay. I don't mind a flat as well. We probably just go for the free bet here. And ace 8 defending. We flop the second pair. It's pretty nice. Gonna bet a little more here when he checked to us because there's definitely some queen jack for gacha and overcards, some flush draws, so we want to charge those hands. And he just folded. I'm actually gonna try to like stream on natural egg. I think it's a pretty amazing site. I like the interface, and then I like I pretty much like everything about it except that I haven't found a way to upload the hands into poker trackers. On this board, we're gonna check behind with top pair. Other than that, it's a really good site. Game's a lot softer, obviously. I'm just gonna call here. Game is a lot softer than ACR. I think Ignition game is probably still the softest. Followed closely by Natural 8, and then ACR is one of the tougher sites. But if you're playing to get better, ACR is a pretty good site to get better because their 25 cents, 50 cents game almost runs 24 hours. And you're playing against better players. I would say like the 50 NL game on ACR is probably play about the same versus like 1-2 games on other sites. I don't think we can fold here. He can obviously have like ace queen and he'll play this way, or queen 9, but that's about it. I just don't see how we can fold this hand. He has a jack. That's unfortunate that we got sucked out on the river, but it's totally fine. Because I think if we bet the flop, and we are probably checking the turn anyways, so we're gonna lose like 2 streets of value, like no matter what. And yeah, Natural A has a lot of very interesting stuff. Like they give you like random bonus pots, and people just go nuts to fight over those extra money. Folding pocket 7 against under the gun raise. Here 3-betting with ace 3. Yeah, it's a very interesting side, and he has like insurance, and then he has the option to run twice, run 3 times. I personally never do that because, or very rarely I do that because, in my opinion, there's no reason to run twice because we're already playing so many hands, and then why do we have to lower our variance? Because I feel like by multi-tabling and then playing Blitz, it's already like lowering the variance, and I just don't see the point of lowering the variance even further. 3 betting with jack. It's a little bit loose, but against a regular, we have to mix in. Like we 3 bet with jack 9 suited and fold ace jack offsuit here. Just a perfect example of how you should mix in your 3 betting range against regulars. Raise under the gun, 3 bet under the gun +1, ace jack suited. Even though it's a beautiful hand, I think it is a fold and it's a pretty easy one. Uh, 5-8 offsuit, it's not good to see a flop, I don't think. If it's suited, obviously we're calling. King Queen offsuit facing a button open, definitely gonna put in a 3 bet. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. On this board, we're just gonna start with a small C bet against an unknown player. No idea who he is, I'll never play with him. Pocket queens, we're gonna 3 bet under the gun raise and then just possibly get it in. Here on the turn, we're just gonna check back, and we do hit the river. Not exactly sure if he will be betting this with a king. Maybe he will, but since we pair our queen on the river, we're just never folding to a half pot bet. He has 2 pair. Okay, nice hand. He called on the flop with the second pair and no flush draw. So I'm just gonna assume that he's a recreational player, because any professional wouldn't do this. It just doesn't really make sense to check call this flop. Even though he has second pair, but his hand doesn't play that well, especially he was out of position. Which is good, because he has like a 900 stack, and it's perfect. Hopefully we'll get him later today in the session. Ten-9 offsuit, we're gonna open. Here, King Jack suited, 3 betting is okay. Flatting is fine as well. Gonna go for the flat. So all it takes is like one hand. All it takes is one hand for us to recognize if the player is solid or not. Facing a 3 bet, we're gonna call and see a flop with pocket 5s. Just gonna give him a fish tag for now. I think he's pretty bad. Just based on the hand that he played against us. A7 suited facing a 3 bet. We did raise under the gun, so gonna give him credit for a real hand. Here we're just gonna fold pocket 5s. That hand doesn't have any potential unless we hit our 2 outers. Probably gonna play a little less today. I know I've been saying that, and then every day we just play 2 hours, but today is probably the day we're only gonna stream for like 90 minutes. I do have a pretty busy schedule tomorrow, so probably gonna wrap it up a little earlier than I would like. Opening with 10-9 offsuit, kinda loose, but I feel like the player today is not too aggro up until this point, so I don't mind that. This guy just seemed like a pretty bad player, like recreational, aggressive rec. Gonna start with a small c-bet here, and here we're just gonna call with ace queen suited against under the gun raise. And just gonna give up against a play like that. Don't see the reason why we should be barreling. Here when he checked the flop, we're gonna go for a turn bet and try to take it away. We don't take it away. I'm guessing he has like some kind of pocket 7 or something. I think an overbet here would take it down. Let's try. Ace queen facing 3-bet and a 4-bet, which is gonna fold. I feel like he has a lot of ace king here. It does work. The reason why we overbetted the river was because we have all the like 10x in our range, but with the way he play, he just never have a pair. Like he's capped at like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, something like that. So it's better to just overbet and then forcing him to fold, because if we just bet like 70-80% the pot, it's very likely he would look us up with pocket 9s. But if we over the pot, it's a lot more difficult for him to call. Yes, I am technically Chinese, but I came to States when I was 15. Gonna call with ace queen in position. I am from Taiwan, so I'm technically Chinese. 3-betting with 8s here, a little loose. It's either a fold or 3-bet situation. Here, blind versus blind, we're gonna peel a turn. Here without a heart, I think we're just gonna... I think we're gonna bet like a little over half the pot, try to take it away. And he barreled the turn. I think we just give up with ace jack high, even though we might still have the best hand, but I just don't see him giving it up on the river. And here he check call. It's very interesting. I don't think he will ever not c-bet a strong heart. So we're just gonna actually go for a 35-bet here, and then if it gets called, then we just shut down. I think that's enough for him to fold like any, like if he doesn't have a heart, he's folding to this bet. And if he does, obviously he's gonna call a raise, and regardless what he does, we are finished with the pot if he calls. And he does call again, and we're just gonna give up. Really curious to see what he's calling with though. Folding to this bet, just gonna check back. He does have pocket kings with king of hearts. So when he called the turn, he has to have like a big heart. Because our bet on the turn is pretty strong. It seems like we're trying to milk him. Here facing a 4-bet against an unknown player, I'm just gonna guess that he's a recreational player, but there's nothing we can do but to fold. On the turn over here, when there's 4 hearts on the board, the turn bet shouldn't be too big. Like 30-35 should be enough, because if he doesn't have a heart, he just wouldn't continue. So, and then if he does have a heart, then we lose a little bit less when we're bluffing. So I like that side, the smaller sizing on the turn way more. On this dry board, we actually gonna float the flop. We check the turn. I'm gonna try to bet like a little over half the pot. It should be enough for him to fold like any num pairs. And then if he had like pocket 7, pocket 8, he would call this, and then we barrel the river, he should fold. And he does call, and then we're just gonna barrel the river. Uh, 35 should do it. When we bet like this, we always have a queen, but if he has a queen, obviously he's check calling, and he does have ace queen. Well played. So he basically baited us. That's really well played with ace queen. Because we're not like one of those give up types, so he probably knows that. We're just gonna c-bet our range here. We do have a lot of ace king king queen when we raise under the gun. Unfortunately, that's called. I think we're gonna barrel the turn and overbet the turn, and possibly just go 3 streets because he never had a strong hand here. And we do just pick up the pot. That's nice. Four, 5, 7 is not the greatest flop for ace jack offsuit, especially against somebody who's pretty sticky, pretty fishy. Checking back this flop a lot. We'll do it with like aces and kings sometimes too. On this board, I think we just check here, and we're checking back with ace high. I believe we have the best hand here very often. Obviously, he can have some pocket pairs, but turn is the deuce of heart. We're just gonna. I think we're just checking. We can't wrap too much here, and we're checking back here. I think, or we can bet a little bit. I think ace high is the best hand very often here. Ace 9 offsuit against a pretty good regular. Okay, regular. Gonna go for a small c-bet. With no equity, you can make a case for a fold, but he does have a lot of flush draw here. So we're just gonna barrel the turn. Ace queen offsuit, we're gonna put in a 3-bet. Not particularly like it if he calls. He does call. His range is actually pretty strong. We're gonna start with a check here, I think. Actually, I think c-betting is mandatory. And we do pick up a gacha on the turn. XOB Skura, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Just gonna check. Obviously, barreling is fine. Just gonna give up. He have ace king. He have nuts, and then he just check back. That's super tight. Here we got dunk bet. Just gonna fold. That's really weird. He rivered the nut flush and then just check back. I'm not exactly sure why. Here we're gonna 3-bet a little bigger because we're playing a little deeper. Trying to figure out what happened here. Turn goes check check, and then he just check the river when he hit the nut flush draw. Maybe he was afraid of jacks, but that's not the right way to play. It's always better to fold and to bet fold versus just checking back the nut flush draw. Like, you're just losing way too much value. Don't see any reason to play like that. Pocket aces. Yes, I am from Taiwan and I speak perfect Mandarin too. Just gonna check back here with Ace Jack High. Against a play like this, we're checking this flop. And when he checked the second time, just gonna check. And he start betting. We're gonna put in a raise here. Gonna put in our 10. Just gonna call this river bet with ace high. He does have a pair 9. Here he checked the river. I'm gonna overbet this actually. I think he's calling with like king 10. And he does fold. That's unfortunate because it does feel like he has a 10 there. Maybe like weaker 10s, but yeah. Well, at least we tried. Pocket 7s, 3 betting is fine. Calling is fine as well. Gonna go for a call here. This is not the greatest flop for pocket 7s. Since he checked, we're actually gonna bet here when he checked to us. Since it's blind versus blind, he does have some king queen, king 10, king queen, king 10, queen 10 type of hands. Who's gonna call? He does go for a check raise. He can be doing this with the draw, but with pocket 7, it just doesn't make sense for us to protect because we don't really beat much. And then even against draws, he still has a lot of equity against us, so we're just gonna muck. Pocket kings under the gun. Hopefully we get some action. Doesn't seem like we're gonna get action. We do. On this flop, we're gonna bet like a little heavier. And this is a perfect turn. We're gonna barrel this turn super hard. 20, 60. Gonna bet like 30 on this turn. And don't mind a fold, because I want his stack. If he check call the turn to the check call the overbet on the turn, he's pretty much pot committed, and he instant marks, so he pretty much just had nothing. Maybe like a bottom pair or something. Defending on blind with Jack A off against under the gun raise. Check raising is an option on this flop. I think that's what we're gonna do. That's not the greatest turn. He does flow our bet with some kind of overcards sometimes. I think we barreled this turn though. Because if he's calling with like queen jack, those type of hands, and then the river just progressively gets worse. I'm not exactly sure he likes this river, but when he called twice, I'm pretty sure he had us. Maybe he has like pocket jacks or something, so I'm just gonna check. Ten nine, nice hand. Checking back on this flop. I'm gonna go for a small bet on the turn. We'll do the same with any ace. Pocket queens. Hopefully we get some action. So far in this session, we didn't get that many action when we have like aces and kings. Hopefully that will change. The player pool today just doesn't seem as aggro. Defending with knight 10 suited. Pretty good flop for queens. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. This guy fold to c-bet 100% of the time, so just gonna c-bet bigger on this board. Here we're c-betting bigger as well. And on 3 diamond board with a gut shot, there's just no reason for us to stick around. Not gonna defend against 3.5x with 9-8, 7-9 suited, 7-9 offsuit. I mean. This guy seems like recreational player. With a flat, I think we can peel a flop. Don't really like it. I'd rather 3-bet. With the big blind still act, we're just gonna fold. Don't mind the 3-bet there. Don't like flat calling. Jack 6 suited, super loose open. But don't mind that once in a while. I actually wanted 3-bet here, but maybe next time. 6-7 suited. Gonna defend and see a flop. I think we are over defending c-bets today. I don't know why. Maybe because all the hands we have are just completely don't have any equity. Probably gonna start floating a little bit. Otherwise, I'll be feeling like we're getting abused by c-betting. King Jack offsuit, gonna open, blind versus blind. And we don't have action with kings again. Just seem like the pool today are just pretty tight in general. Probably go for a check raise on this flop. Gonna open a little looser. Queen 10 off. Don't mind that once in a while, but definitely not something that we do by default. And when we have trash, we do get 3 bets, unfortunately. And gonna barrel this turn. He could obviously have a 10, like 10 jack or something, but that's the only hand that's gonna continue. And we're gonna check call this river actually. Hopefully he has a busted flush draw, and he does. Sucks that he didn't win for the bluff, because we're totally ready for a check call on the river. He just gave up. I know I wouldn't give up there. I'm just not the give up type. I'll rather bet and then gets called and then sleep better. I just can't accept just admitting defeat by giving up a pot that often. Here on this turn, we're just gonna fold. We flop the nuts here against 2 players. Not particularly sticky players. So I do expect a c-bet gets folded quite often by both of them. Gonna try to start with a small c-bet. Hopefully one of them have ace and will continue. At least pay us off like 2 streets or something. So on start. I haven't played on stars because this is a shitty turn. We're just gonna check. Because I live in the States, so I'm not supposed to be playing on stars, and then if I want to use VPN, I'll play on other sites because there's just no reason for me to. This guy never 3-bets, we're just gonna fold. I'll check calling once, and he's wrapping a flush. That's good. That's what we want. And flush on board. So if I use VPN, I'll rather play on natural 8 or other sites. Stars game are pretty tough, and if I want to play tough game, ACR games are pretty tough too. So I might as well just play ACR. And he does bluff again. That's good. We're only losing to 3-5 of spades, and I don't think he called that on the. I don't think he called that on the flop. I'm pre-flop. I don't think he's gonna call 2-5 of spades. So we literally have the nuts here. So gonna jam. I think. I don't see doing anything else gonna make any difference. If we just check raise double, I don't think he's calling with like 10 of spades. He was just bluffing, so. We were never bluffing there when we were check jamming the river. I don't think. Maybe in high stakes sometimes, people does that, but I don't see even on high stakes people do that. I used to play on full tilt. This was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago when I was playing pro. It's not really comparable because it's different era. I feel like star game are pretty much the same as ACR. I think ACR games is pretty rough. At least according to people who play on those sites for a long time. This is what they have been telling me. So the ACR game used to be pretty soft, and then it kind of got hard, and then it stayed hard. The softest game is definitely Ignition, followed closely by Natural 8. On this turn, holy shit, what are these guys doing? They are going crazy. I think he has an ace here, at least. Are we gonna get action with aces finally? Doesn't seem like it when he tanks for that long. Normally that means a fold. Yes, indeed it was a fold. Very unfortunate. I think it was the 4th time we have aces today that we just had absolutely no action. Under the gun, facing under the gun +1 3-bet, Queen Jack suited just have nothing to do in this pot, out of position. Folding. I don't like calling ace-10 offsuit here against 2 players, especially under the gun raiser. Are we gonna ace No action with aces for the 5th straight times. Not even a flop. Oh, I think we had action in one of the aces, but it was a small pot. Getting 3-betted. Ace 9 suited. I think we peel a flop. Betting the turn. A little over half the pot, not too crazy. Checking is actually a good option too. Let's go for that. I think he's gonna bet this turn quite often. He does bet. He's just gonna check call, and then check calling this river. Ace King, nice hand. We're never folding there. Gonna see a flop 3-way. Defending with 6-8 suited versus under the gun. Got shot and backdoor flush draw. Probably check call once. Here we're gonna put in a 4-bet and get it in. Seeing a flop 2-way, pocket 6s. And check calling this flop. We do pick up a flush draw on the turn. I think we're going for a check raise here. Not gonna raise too much, just a little over half, like 2.5x. Check calling once with 6s on this board, I think. Pretty good turn. Pick up extra equity with a gut shot. Probably check calling again. And I don't see a reason to bet because he's never gonna call with worse, so it's just gonna check. And we do have the best hand. He does call. Shall we polarize by jamming? Trying to think what he has here. Is he ever folding aces to like $100 bet? Not sure if we should go for it. Him calling the turn is super strong, I think, but we're gonna go for it. Just gonna go for 100. Hopefully he fold. Don't think he will fold ace jack, but we can try. Maybe he will. Facing a 3-bet and the cold call, we're gonna put in a 4-bet here with ace jacks. Not exactly sure what should we do. He does fold. It worked out for us. Here we're gonna barrel this turn. A pretty good card for our range. I'm trying to figure out if we should 4-bet. Just gonna go for it. Here against a pretty big stack, gonna go for a 5x 3-bet out of position. And it does get through. We are going to shove against this guy. And we do pick up a pretty nice pot. Folding ace-4 offsuit against the small blind 3-bet. Here, facing a smaller stack, Gonna see a flop with Queen 8 suited. This guy opened quite often, but he doesn't fold to 3-bet that much. Pocket sixes here is almost I never like calling, especially with the small blind, has a pretty high 3-bet percentage. But this guy is a fish, so I guess we can make a case to a call here, just because I want to get his money, and we're just gonna take our chances. I think here we're gonna get called by ace high a lot, so just gonna give up. He has king high. On this board, we're just gonna fold. Don't see any reason to continue with pocket sixes. Don't really beat much. And the hand that we do beat still have tons of equity against us. Raise under the gun and the cold call. Gonna put in a 3-bet, pretty big 3-bet to 24. 22 is okay too, but I want it to be a little bigger, so they might feel like we're squeezing rather than having a real hand. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. Open with ace king suited. Here we can 3-bet with jack 10 suited. We can call. Just go for a 3-bet here. I think we're a little deeper, so. And we do just pick up the pot. A5 offsuit facing under the gun raise. Obviously it's a fold, even though this guy is a little bit fishy, but it's okay to fold blind versus blind sometimes. This guy is definitely a recreational player. I'm just gonna isolate him. Not really playing our hands, but more like playing our ranges. When we have any kind of playable hands on the button, we're just gonna go for a isolation. 7-6, we're gonna defend. And here we're gonna start with a small c-bet. 3-betting a little bigger. Here we're defending with king a suited. Here with the open and this straight draw, we're gonna bet pretty big on a board that favors our range. And checking. King deuce off is a fold. We really don't have any equity. If the turn's a spade, we probably try to barrel, but no equity to be bluffing with. Definitely not something you want to do. You don't want to be bluffing too much without any equity. Stone cold bluff is not the greatest. Folding ace 10. Here on this flop, we're just gonna check back. We do flop a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. However, this board does favor us a lot, so we're gonna actually facing a dunk bet. I think we're gonna just raise him. Checking back again. Don't see a reason to flat call that. Turn a 9. Definitely not the type of turn we want to see. But he does slow down. Here we're checking back with second pair in a 3-bet pot. King benefits us pretty good because makes him less likely to have a king. Gonna start betting a little bit. on this river, we're just gonna fold. We don't beat anything. And we'll double the pot bets. I think folding is probably better. He has tons of ace here, and then even if we were right, the pot is just too small for us to risk, I think. Good for him. And here we're checking back with ace queen. Expect us to have the best hand a lot versus pocket jacks, pocket tens. He has 6-5 suited. That is very interesting. Raise and call a 3-bet out of position with 6-5 suited. Pretty good player. 5-6 suited out of position, calling 3 bets. Kudos to him. Defended with king 10 off. Checking on this flop. We do turn a gut shot. If he check again, we're gonna start betting. He didn't wait for us to bet. He just let out. I think we call. Checking back this flop. It's pretty dry. I think a c-bet get us to the river, so let's go for that. And he bet again, we're just gonna fold. I do think he's checking a tons here, and we are checking back. We can obviously barrel. I guess we can always barrel and barrel the river. I think he has a lot of pocket tens here, but we can always bluff. Gonna still balance on our range and then balance the frequency of how often we bluff. And when he lead out like this, I feel like he has at least ace queen and king queen, so we're just gonna fold. I guess it's a good thing we didn't barrel the turn. Obviously he could be bluffing there, but if he does, good for him. Double raise, gonna see a flop. Just gonna fold. Facing a 3-bet from the blind. It's pretty close. I think we peel a flop. We do flop a gut shot and then a backdoor flush draw here. Probably check calling. Facing a half-size bet. I think we flow here. That's actually a pretty good turn for our range. We have tons of knight 10. And we're gonna trying to figure out if we're just gonna bet here and then get it in on the river as a bluff, or do we just I think we bet 35 here and jam the river. It's a lot convincing. He just give up. That's good too. But I think even if he called the turn and then we jamming the river, the SPR is about 1-1. So we do have a very strong river pot jam. that I just don't think he can call unless he have like aces and he just doesn't want to give up. Against a deeper stack, I just go for a 3-bet with nice. It's gonna make our life a little easier, and then when we flop a set or something, we can get his stack potentially, versus just flat calling and pot is not big enough, and then we don't have the initiative, and then we're out of position against a deeper stack. It's just gonna put us in a tougher spot. So I opt to just 3-bet there. Against like a regular 120, 100 big blind stack, we can leaning more towards just calling. But it's not by default though. Here I'm gonna definitely put in a 3-bet. If he 4-bets, we probably jam, or he just folded. I'm gonna try to make a YouTube video tomorrow regarding our July results. I actually ran a little worse than I anticipated, so we ran like almost 20 buying behind all-in EV. Just gonna make a video about it and then talk about the hands we have played. I'm gonna go for a small c-bet here. Checking behind with the bottom pair. This turn changes everything. Like everything we beat on the flop, we don't beat anymore. Just gonna fold. It's a pretty bad turn for our hand. Opening with 7s. Here with bottom pair, we're just gonna check back. On this flop, I think we are checking back a lot. And he bet the turn, just gonna call. He still have a lot of queen 10, king queen type of hands that we beat. Not the worst river, everything missed pretty much. And when he checked the second time, we're gonna start betting. And I'm gonna check behind. I think we have the best hand, and we do. Checking behind, I do expect him to have some nice here, like ace-9, king-9 type of hands. And jack-nice. Pocket 4s here is generally normally a fold, especially with this guy high 3-bet rate, so we're just gonna fold. Here, very tempting to call, but the blind has really high 3-bet percentage, so we're just gonna fold. Open-ended straight drop, definitely check calling. Under the gun raise, ace jack offsuit, even though it's a worse regular, still not gonna go for it. This is a pretty good flop for kings, I would think. Gonna start with a small c-bet. Checking on tons here as well. Not gonna try to bluff in. When he raises, pocket 5s. With his stacks, we're never folding kings here, so I think it's just better to put in a 3-bet and then just get it in. With 130 stack, we're never folding to that. And then he has tons of like overcards and flush draw, got shy on flush draw, that type of hands. And then he can obviously have like pocket 9s, pocket 10s. So we're just gonna 3-bet and get it in. If he had a set, then he had a set. Nothing we can do. Never folding kings there, and we do just pick up the pot. That's nice. He probably saved money too, so I don't actually mind his play. He just feel like the flop doesn't hit us, and then he's just gonna raise to bluff, which is a good idea. And when we just when we 3-bet him, he just kind of give up, which makes tons of sense. A9 offsuit, just gonna see a flop. Open-handed straight draw, but it's not the greatest because queen gives ace a better straight. Here, gonna go for a 3-bet. Gonna limp with ace queen here just to mix it up. Just gonna fold here because only a 7 is good. I don't think a queen is good here, so. And checking this flop. Pretty good flop for kings. Gonna start with a small c-bet. Just gonna stick to our plan. Maybe bet like a little bit here on the river. On this turn, we're gonna barrel 50 bucks and then get it in on the river. Stack would be. The SPR will be pretty close to 1-to-1. Hopefully he doesn't have queen 10. But we're never folding here. Calling a jam. And he just fold. Under the gun raise from a pretty weak regular. Suited ace definitely gonna see a flop. We do flop top pair and the backdoor not flush draw. We do have another kings here. Here we're gonna bet like 80% the pot. On this flop, we're gonna see bet a little bigger because there's a lot of draws out there. Like queen 10 just got there. On this board, start with a small c-bet with the god shot. Gonna just use a blocker size. Expecting to check raise with queen 10. Not the jack, that's definitely not the best river, and flush gets there too, so I don't think we're beating much here. I'm just gonna check back. He does have a jack. Unfortunately we got sucked out, but I like the way we play. Bet when we had the best hand, and then don't lose any extra value when we don't have the best hand. Here we actually gonna start betting pretty big. And we flop the nuts. Here we check calling this. Turn a double gutter. This guy just jams. I feel like he has a lot of overcards and flush draws. But that's basically the only thing we can hope for, and I think this jamming size is just too big, so I'm actually gonna attacking a recreational fish and then just fold to this bet. Against this sizing, it's very tempting to call. $8 into $40 play. I think pot odds wise, we have to call with the double gutter. And we don't get there. This is actually a terrible turn. It's jack. Gonna overbet this turn. It's unfortunate that a queen has to come. If it's like anything else, I think we can get three streets of value potentially from a king. Just gonna check and give up here. He does have pocket queens. I guess good thing a queen didn't come. Otherwise, it will make a straight, and you were making a full house. Probably lose more money. Opening with sevens. This is not the greatest flop for queens, but definitely not the worst. Gonna start with a check here actually. Ace benefit our range a lot. Just gonna go for a bet on the turn. Obviously he can have some ace as well. Just gonna go for a small c-bet on this board. We do have tons of aces as original raiser. He's tanking, I don't know why. It's really not a difficult decision when you have 4, 5, 6 ace, 2 diamonds. I don't know what he's tanking with. 6-8 against 2 players. Because they're weaker players, I'm gonna peel a flop. I feel like if we hit the flop, gonna win tons of money. Queen Jack facing small blind 3 bets. I don't mind a call. Here we probably just gonna fold this time. I don't use randomizer or anything like that. It's really just depending on my mood. But I think I mixed in my range pretty well. I probably should use a randomizer, so it's completely randomized in terms of what we are doing. 3 betting with ace 10 suited. It's not much action going on in terms of there's a couple pots here and there, but I'm gonna go for a limp here. Against a regular, you just have to like play different style and then get them confused a little bit. Here we're gonna just raise and obviously calling. Defending with ace 3 suited. Probably check raising this flop a lot. Without clubs, I think just give up. Here we do get 3 bet. Don't mind a 4 bet. I think we can 4 bet and get it in against this player. I think that's what we're gonna do. 4 bet or call. It's a really smaller sizing too. I guess we go for a call. Under the gun raise, we're just gonna fold 8s here. It's a little bit tight, but it's okay to fold sometimes. Check calling once at least. Ace on the turn, makes him less likely to have an ace. If he has like better pocket pairs, I expect him to check back very often, and he does. Don't see a reason to bet this river, just hopefully he check it back. And he does have a9 offsuit. That's a little ambitious. I guess we made them X-Men though, because he's definitely not calling a 4 bet pre-flop. So I guess we can be result orientated and, you know, feel pretty comfortable that we did make them X-Men in that pot. King Queen facing a 3 bet from the button, from small blind, definitely gonna peel a flop, and we're super deep, and then we do have position. However, on this board though, I just don't see how we can continue. We can flow, but we're basically have to turn our hands into a bluff, so just gonna give it to him. That guy doesn't 3-bet that much anyways. Pocket aces here, hopefully we get some action. Small c-bet on this board, and then if it gets called, we just give up. We do face it under the gun open. This guy has a really high 3-bet percentage. Hopefully that's what he's gonna do. He does just call. I'm gonna 3-bet pretty big here. Don't mind 25x out of position against 2 players. Using a larger size normally seems a little bit more fishy, so hopefully they fall for the trap. He doesn't. I'm gonna go for a check raise here on this board. He does check back, and we turn the nuts. Gonna start betting. Expecting to fold all the time. He probably peeled the flop with like small pocket pair or something. Just doesn't seem like he has anything there. Because if he has a flush draw, he probably would try to bluff the flop. Maybe. This guy seems to be like a recreational player. Gonna put in a 3-bet. Not the worst flop for pocket tens. We do flop a gut shot, actually a double gutter with the flush draw. Definitely going for a check raise. When he bet that much, we're still gonna go for a little check raise. Here he check raised us double. Definitely not gonna fold yet. Just gonna call, and then we turn the nut bolt. That's pretty nice. Hopefully he has ace queen. When he check again, that tells me that he has nothing and was just making a move. So that's gonna use like a super small bet. When he check here, means that he was just making a move on the flop. So we're just gonna bet like 20 here. He should fold, unless he goes crazy, but you never know what people does. And here, queen 10, we're just gonna fold. Ace king, we're definitely gonna